solutions, and necessity is the mother of invention, and we will come out with those.
If there is such thinking, then Nilesh Shah, I go back to this, between the long-term macroeconomic thinking, the great attempt to build a data sovereignty, how do you decipher the immediate reaction of the markets today? If you see the market graphics, I can pull them up. Is there a fundamental weakness that was waiting to surface which emerged in the budget that caused that crash? What is in it for the FIIs? Was that the problem? Was it about the 0.05 or whatever percent STT on futures? Why did the PSU bank stocks crash? Are they not looking at the long-term view, Mr. Shah?
So today, the reaction of the market was driven by unexpected increase in STT. There were many speculators who realized that the cost of trading is increasing, and hence they started selling.
Yes.
There is also rumor that yesterday there was crash in precious metals, and today some of the commodity positions required margin, and brokers squared their position in equity market to pay for the margin on the commodity side. Be the case as it may be, market has reacted in the short term. But Arnab, please remember, we are still 6% below all-time high level on Nifty 50. There are very few markets in the world which are trading at that kind of all-time high level. Second, Chinese markets have done very well in last 2 years, but they are still trading where they were 17 years before. So we have done very well over last 17 years. This is the phase of consolidation. And most importantly for market, 2 quarterly earnings have been impacted by one-off things. One, labor cost expenses, which came suddenly, and the rupee depreciation hit as many of the companies were unhedged. There is an earning adjustment going on in the market. And on top of it, this STT hike came, which probably reflected in today's market movement.
So,
I have a question for both.
Just a point to Sanjeev. Sanjeev, are we setting up, we can be on that window, are we setting up a structural wireframe for a long-term superpower status? You know, I get a feeling that there's some very long-term thinking that's gone on, and maybe the media has missed the messaging so far, which is why I'm trying quite hard here. Sanjeev, and then I'll come to you. Sanjeev.
So I think that is exactly what is being done. But I think you should see the wider context and not just the budget. If you see the free trade agreement we have done with the European Union, it was an agreement between equals, something we would not have imagined doing just a few years ago. We have similarly done labor reforms. Just a few weeks ago, we announced, again, without any real social unrest. You know, imagine 10, 15 years ago, these kinds of reforms had been done. You would have had major agitation on the streets. But it went through, almost nobody noticed these. The amount of money raised, by the way, in Indian capital markets, since you're discussing capital markets, is today higher than has been raised in London. I mean, I and Nilesh started working in the mid-90s. At that time, you know, the Mumbai's capital markets were smaller than that of Bangkok. And today, the amounts of money that are raised in Mumbai's capital markets are simply at a different scale altogether. So I think we are now begin to thinking of ourselves as the world's third largest economy and as a world power that can deal with others. And as I said, even with the case of the US, while we have not escalated anything vis-a-vis President Trump's demands, we have also not bent at all. In fact, other than China, we have been the only country that has basically been steadfast in what we believe and what we think is the correct thing for our country.
Yes, absolutely. Sushil.
There is an ongoing, feeling about